This is Prophet Blake, and you are listening to Worship Radio International, the world's #1 online Christian radio station.
And welcome to Let's Fix It with Chenauda. I need you to sit back, take some copious notes, relax. We're going to share some awesome information today. We're going to be talking about solutions to financial matters. I need you to invite your friends and family to join us. If you're watching on Facebook, share. Sharing is caring. I am Chenauda Harris, your financial specialist, offering solutions to your financial matters. I first off want to start off by giving you my contact information in case you need it. 734-752-8818, and I'm on Facebook at Chenauda M. Harris. Instagram, I am Chenauda. Email, let's fix it with Chenauda at gmail.com, and my website, www.chenaudaharris.com. I had the esteemed pleasure to interview one of my business partners slash classmate from Romulus High School, class of 87. Yay, we turned 50 this year. That's so exciting. He served our country in the Air Force. He was divorced twice, and he's a single dad of a son and is a contract worker. So I'm going to take you on his journey with me as a customer. And so you can see how his progress has gotten him into a new home. So for those that are considering home ownership, but you have less than perfect credit, listen to this story and open your mind, and then let's have a conversation after this is over. As I stated, Kevin, he is a business partner and a former classmate from the class of 87 from Romulus High School. So his biggest concern when he and I spoke last summer was he was paying close to $2,000 a month in rent for an apartment in the Ann Arbor, Michigan area. However, he didn't own the property, and neither did his credit score qualify for lower interest rates or housing programs to bring that cost down. So he knew he needed to make a significant change immediately so his situation could change for him and his son. So he and I played phone tags for a good 3 months before we initially made contact for him to make a move on what he was going to do. So back in October of last year, Kevin started the Credit My Rent program that we've talked about. And what that simply did for him was give him a positive trade line on his credit to one of the credit bureaus. And it gave him a small increase, gave him 8 points. So he got really excited about that, starting to see results. And then 2 months later, in November, he decided he wanted to become a part of what I do, which was awesome. So he wanted to take full advantage of all the services. So what he did was he immediately activated his credit restoration, which he started to see increases. And also he launched his will, trust, power of attorney. He put all of his information in the profile to get that started so that he had the necessary documentations in place in the event of his passing. Well, by February 2019, he had 6 accounts deleted and a 20-point increase. So Kevin told me he started using the budgeting tools. So as I told you before, not only are we teaching you how to increase your score by deleting the erroneous items off of there, but we're giving you budgeting tools so you can set up how much money is coming into your household, as well as how much are you spending. How much is going out, what bills are being paid, strategically giving you a plan on how to pay those bills on a monthly basis so it doesn't impact your score negatively, because the objective here is to not just maintain but increase your score as you go along the financial journey. So we're providing solutions to your financial matters, and sometimes with these solutions we have to take some short-term sacrifices. So therefore we might have to look at, we can't go to Starbucks every day, or we can't have lunch every day, but we got to figure out some type of way to cut some corners so we can free up some money to get this credit restoration done so that we can have some long-term success with our finances. So with all of that being said, as I said, he plugged in all of his bills, and then he saw a cohesive plan that he used to keep him on track for his goal. So he stated he learned how to budget tools, but he was disciplined. Y'all hear that? Disciplined on staying the course until it was complete. And so that was some great advice that he gave, is that you have to be disciplined. So I guess that came from being a part of the military, being disciplined enough to say, I can't do X, Y, and Z today because I really need to stay on track and keep my finances on track. So he also used the debt management profile to help assist him in ways to get his score up quicker. But the best advice that was given was he was focused. He was focused on what the end result was going to be. And I'm going to share that with you as we continue his story. By April, he started the home buying process. His credit score had increased 70 points, and he just stayed focused and monitored his spending habits. And then also, with him being a veteran, and we want to thank him for his services, he qualified for special home buyers programs as well. So a lot of veterans don't realize that you serving our country, there are certain VA loans and programs that you can qualify for. I am not a realtor or an expert in that field. However, we do have realtors at our disposal if you should need one, to advise you appropriately if you are a veteran and want to take advantage of those types of special fundings and programs. By June 2019, Kevin was able to close on a beautiful home in Brighton, Michigan. So by July 2019, just a few weeks ago, him and his son moved into their new home. So congratulations, Kevin. And for 8 months, this is what that process took for him. And granted, I will always say everyone's results vary depending on your situation. But look at it this way. He stayed the course for less than a year. And now look at his end result. He has cut his bills less than $400 than what he was paying in apartment rents. So that definitely will also save him in the long run, because he was paying into an apartment that he would never own, and he had lived there for 4 years. So let's just wild card, if you lived in an apartment and you're paying close to $2,000 for 12 months, that's $24,000 a year. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So here's the other thing that Kevin was able to do. When he activated his will, trust, power of attorney services, he wanted to go he went to speak to an attorney about establishing a trust for his son. So the attorney advised him that it was great that he had will, trust, power of attorney services already in place and notarized and printed. And so that saved him some money in the long run. but he just needed to make some simple tweaks in order to include his son in the trust. So kudos to him for his new home and being able to um, take advantage of this program. Also, another tip that I gave Kevin was to start a Navy Federal Credit Union account. So he stated that he started his Navy Federal Credit Union account the early part of the year. And with him being military, he didn't really need my referral code because he's former military. So they're automatically going to give him an account. So he started it off with $25 as I suggested. And then he let it sit for a couple of months. And then he stated not only did he get the $2,000 in free life insurance as a credit union member, but they gave him a line of credit over $15,000 on a Visa card. And it has cashback options. So guess what? Some of the things that he needed for his house, he didn't really have to take out an abundance of a loan on the house in order to furnish his house. He now has a line of credit where he can go and furnish the home and be able to manage the credit card as well, but also get that increase on that score up because now he has another line of credit to help with the increase. So I must say this, that Kevin was coachable to get to a successful place financially. And I'm super excited for his success. And I pray God's continues favor over his business, his home, and his life. And I truly appreciate him for sharing his story and allowing me to share his story and feature it here on Let's Fix It with Chenauda and Worship Radio International. I am totally forever grateful. Now, I want to explain some things about establishing credit. So for those of you who had tuned in last week, we had went to talking about what affects your credit score. So I'm going to start off with that particular piece and close out with, like I stated before, establishing credit. So your payment history is 35% of the amount of your credit score, and then 30% is the amount that's owed. Then you have 15% is the length of your credit history. So closing out your accounts cuts that history off, and that's something you don't want to do. So if you close an account, you're going to lose the length of time, the amount owed, and the payment history. New credit applied for makes up 10%, and then the types of credit, and we talked about that, and we're going to talk about that again. The types of credit that you can have that is going to make up your FICO score. So, establishing credit. Now, we were talking about the two different types of credit: installment loans, such as your car payment, and your mortgages. So like if you're fresh out of high school and or just starting out to build your credit, these are some of the things, the tools and tips that I can give you to assist you on your journey. Revolving credit is your credit cards, and there's a difference. You've got your Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. Those are your credit cards because you could go buy anything with those cards. Your charge cards are like your Home Depot, Macy's, Kohl's, Lane Bryant, Ashley Stewart. Those are your charge cards. These all help your FICO algorithms. And yes, I am giving you guys a new big word: algorithms. What is an algorithm? An algorithm is a finite set of a precise instructions for performing a computation for solving a problem. Algorithms are used constantly. Algorithms are used in Facebook. Um, let's just say, for instance, you're surfing the internet on your phone for tennis shoes. And then all of a sudden, a few minutes later, you go back and you look in your Facebook. What are some of the sponsored ads? Tennis shoes. The algorithms of Facebook are really following you. I look at it as an algorithm as the footprints that somebody's like, it seems like somebody's following you. It's just weird to me, but I just find it interesting how that system works. Experian Boost. Experian Boost can help assist build credit on your Experian account through the Experian Credit Bureau alone. They can use your cell phone bill, utility bills to add a positive line to your credit score. And in the event that you have already established credit and you want to use Experian Boost, they do evaluate your spending habits in your bank account. So personally, from a personal perspective, that's not something I recommend. I don't really want them snooping into my bank account. But if you're in the position to establish credit, then that's definitely a method to help assist with the increase process. Secured cards. There are certain secure cards that are out there. We have one. So if you're interested in one, we have one with relatively lower interest rates. But there are others. Credit One, First Premier, Capital One, Indigo are some of the popular ones. They have higher interest rates and annual fees, but good programs to get you going. But the key to utilizing them is really being responsible enough to pay your bills on time, not maximize or max out them, where you look irresponsible as a spender. Another program is called the selflender.com program, and it's like a CD program, and they report to all three credit bureaus. So definitely want to use something that you're going to get credit through all three credit bureaus on your credit score. Now, um, we've been talking about this program for a little bit. I'm going back to the Navy Federal. Navy Federal Credit Union, when I tell you they are awesome, they are totally awesome. If you're military or related to someone in the military, or if you even need a referral code, I have a referral code I can give you. I advise you that if you just take $25 and open up a checking account, let it sit for a couple months, and then go back and apply for one of the Visa products, um, you'll get something. You'll get a nice Visa line of credit. They do extend credit very easily when you're building a relationship with them, and that's the key. Having a relationship with credit unions to assist you with various situations financially. It's certainly something that will take you a long way in your financial journey. A lot of people don't realize how important having a credit union source to go to. So once again, that would be Navy Federal Credit Union. There aren't any branches here in the state of Michigan. They're generally down south. However, you can utilize the Family Services Credit Union in different locations. I know that there's one in Garden City. I know that there is one in Southfield that you can utilize. That you can utilize the ATM for the services in order to bank with Navy Federal. But when I tell you the programs are awesome, they are. And then generally, once you start with one program, they are willing to extend to some of their other services. I personally, I am a member. I am a product of their Visa Rewards program, and I have had several other offers for mortgages and car loans, and they're at a relatively lower interest rate than the average bank. And so that's the key to some of the savings that you're going to see as you go along your financial journey. Once again, we're trying to provide you solutions to your financial matters. And it's very key that we are looking for the things that are going to put us in that position to get us financially fit. Because the object of the game really is to leave a legacy. And that's biblical, leaving a legacy for your children and your children's children. So we just really want to be a success and be of good information of value to pour into you on a weekly basis. And we'll be bringing more testimonials coming in real soon, in terms of people that have been on the product. Let me give you my information once again. 734-752-8818 is my phone number where you can reach me. I'm on Facebook at Chenauda M. Harris, and my Instagram is Chenauda. Email. You can email me at letsfixitwithchenauda@gmail.com, and my website is www.chenaudaharris.com. And just so you'll know, I am available to come and speak in front of your clubs, social groups, churches, and even at small businesses, because these types of services are so necessary for our community, because there's over 65 million people that are impacted with negative credit. So just because you think that your neighbor, they may have a nice car, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're paying lower interest rates for them or have paid lower interest rates for them. That may not necessarily be the case. But in the event that it isn't, you know, we still have different programmings out there that people can qualify for. So coming up on our next show, as we conclude, I'll be bringing to you some more people that will be able to offer up more financial solutions to your financial matters. And then I want to do a special extended invitation to teachers. I know you guys are probably getting ready to start preparing your classrooms for the children to come back to school here real soon. So I want to extend the invitation to you to get at me with talking to your kids. We want to come into your schools with the youth financial literacy program and start teaching financial literacy to children's ages 8 to 18, and getting them very well diversed with some of the things that we weren't taught in school. So I am totally interested in talking to any teacher that is interested in this opportunity. And then coming up real soon, if you are a teacher of a senior class, or if you are a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle of a person that is a senior or a college freshman, you definitely want to start talking to me so we can make sure we get the necessary information in your hands about our scholarship program. And that kicks off in October, but I definitely want to continuously have the conversation with you guys so it's on the forefront of your mind, because our company gives away an astronomical amount of money to these children, and the only thing they have to do is participate in the essay contest about finances. So I definitely want to see one of my listeners and followers to be eligible to win some of this money, because gosh, that would help somebody so tremendously. And speaking of helping someone, I also want to give, and he may not hear this, and he may very well hear this. Hopefully, his brother will hear this and convey this message. But today is Wealth Wednesday. And if you follow me closely on Facebook, I always talk about on Wealth Wednesday blessing somebody else and being a blessing to somebody else. And that can simply just be anonymously doing something nice for someone, paying it forward. If you're like in the drive-through line of, let's say, Starbucks or something, you pay for the person's coffee behind you, pay it forward, just being a blessing to someone else. But in the event that you haven't heard it, as I stated, I'm not sure if he's going to hear this, but I want you to go and definitely pick up my big brother, Kurt Carr's new CD that just dropped, Bless Somebody Else. And I promise you on everything that song is so prevalent and will bless your life. I promise you. So with that being said, until God says the same, we want to thank you so much for tuning in to Let's Fix It with Chenauda here on Worship Radio International. Tune in for our other programs that we have. We have some awesome hosts and programs here at Worship Radio International just for you. Have a great week.
Hey, this is DeAndre Ford, and you're listening to Worship Radio International.